That's good to see you, Glenda.
Without your mics on.
We've missed your face, Glenda. It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. It's nice to just be here, period. But yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, Michelle.
I'm sorry, what?
I said she was right. Everything's working, Glenda. I can't believe it.
I know. That's nice. Yeah. Well, if you're talking about me, yes, everything's working. I have a hole in my head, but outside of that, I'm good.
Okay.
It's full of sawdust, but we're good. So,
I think I have the same issue with sawdust up here, you know?
well, years ago, my sister-in-law oh gosh, I was pregnant with Mandy, and Mandy's 36. So my sister-in-law had a brain aneurysm. And my brother Jack, those of you that knew my brother Jack Hill, Jack told me when I get up to the hospital, he's like, he gets a hold of me and he's like, no, you got to understand that there's a lot of buckets in her room. And I said, okay, what's going on? And he said, well, that's what they use to carry in all the sawdust. And I'm standing there looking at him thinking, what are you talking about? And he was just being funny. But yeah, he was basically telling me that they had filled her head with sawdust. And so now that's become the family joke. And so, I told Chris that she's no longer the only one in the family with sawdust in her brain. So
No.
No, you're just outside.
So can you adjust,
Use your arm.
can you adjust the camera, please?
Just a scope.
And so we can still see Jamie though too. Okay, so any audience and people that need to talk, you'll have to come up here and grab this mic and there's a little power on, just power on and then power back off when you're done talking, okay? And that way we get your fronts instead of your backsides. on the
Okay.
Video.
Let's stand for the flag salute right here behind me. Move your hats, please. Don't look at my hair. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda, please.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved in second. The motion was made by Emily to accept the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries. First up, Sam, the mic's up here.
Well, you'll see in front of you, blue sheet. It was a pretty uneventful December for change, which is good. Some people look at it as you're not doing anything. Other people look at it as we don't got stuff going on and people are getting ripped off and stuff. So it's actually been pretty good. Pretty quiet even with the snow. In regards to employees, we got interviews on Thursday for 3. One's a lateral, 2 are entry level. Obviously, the best selection is going to be the lateral. They're going to interview all 3 of them just in case that comes up later on. And we're out of patches, so we designed a patch. Working on getting those ordered and taken care of now. So as a city seal and all that, or the boat and stuff, but it's a little condensed, a little easier to read, especially from a distance. So other than that, things are status quo.
What about the car, Sam?
The car's sitting up in Everett. And I've been trying to get a hold of the guy today. Maybe he's still off for vacation over the holidays, so. But it's sitting there ready to go. And I've been working with our outfitter down south as far as getting the gear ready to put on and stuff. I've talked to him. We're going to try to get that done in January. Because my goal about bringing the new person on, if everything works out, is around February. Because I still got to do background, poly, psych. I've already done an initial little bit on the one individual. So.
And the other car, surplus car,
That's coming up later.
okay. Any questions for Sam? Thank you, sir. Mike?
Hello, everybody. Hi, Glenda.
Hey,
Happy New Year. It seems I escaped just in time.
Mike,
Turn.
closer over. There.
Ah,
I can see you now. Yeah, I can.
seems like just in time, we got to use a snow blower here last week, I guess, and it worked very well. It's brand new. It probably has 2 hours on it now or whatever, but that went good. And we did some work on the building here. We fixed the restroom that was brought up, and the heater is all functioning now. Everything should be working fine for whatever they're going to use it for. So other than that, I was on vacation, so there's not a lot until I get caught back up.
We're still reading meters,
Yeah, today, they'll finish tomorrow.
and the reason being was because of snow and ice, you couldn't read, right?
Yeah, that's what I was told, yeah.
Okay. Any questions for Mike?
The meter the meter project is finished?
No,
Oh, yeah, okay, I didn't think so.
no, there's reading is, in other words, for billing, yeah,
Okay,
is what he
alright.
was talking about.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Any other questions for Mike? Thank you, Mike. Michelle?
Okay, so like Mike explained too, the meters didn't get read last week because of the snow and all the problems that would have just been a nightmare. So when we get ready to, do the billing, we'll take a look at it. If there is some unusual overages or something, we'll probably do some adjustments. The next billing cycle will be a short cycle just because February is a short month anyway. So things will get caught up to normal. And we'll just take a look at it so that we don't have upset customers. We
Thank you.
How about now? Can you hear us?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any other nominations for Mayor Pro Tem? Third
I
time.
didn't get to hear who the nominations were. If you could repeat that for me, Mayor?
Yes, I can. Emily Morgan, Eric Hayes, and Jamie, oh, I have trouble with your last name.
Scalise.
Scalise? I've nominated all three nominations. And I've asked 3 times for any others, and that's it. Right? Okay? Okay, nominations are closed. Now we're gonna vote. Just doing one at a time. All those in favor of Emily, raise your hand. Emily, you
can only
got,
vote 1 time too, so can't vote all 3 times, okay?
I'm good with that.
No.
I just wanted to cover bases.
okay, Emily's got 1 vote. All those in favor of Eric, please raise your hand. 2,
3, mine's up too.
okay, 3, sorry, I missed you, Glenda.
That's okay.
Okay, and now nomination for Jamie, please raise your hand. Okay, it looks like Eric is it, correct? Congratulations, Eric, become a new member and a pro tem all the same night. That's the way to go. All right. Moving on, number 3, mayoral appointments. Can you explain that?
So on your purple sheet that you have in your packets, it shows all the mayoral appointments. And so Jill just kind of threw some people in different places because you're new and we had to take other people off that were, no longer on the council. If there's something that you really want to be on or want more of an explanation of what it does, we can move it around tonight before you guys vote on this. Or if there's something that you're on and you really don't want to be on it, if you want to speak up, that would be great. As far as the appointments go, like the finance committee, everybody's on that because that's how bills get paid. So on the city street committee, we have Emily and then Mike Fisher, and then DWI task force is Sam by himself. And then the police committee, we have Glenda and Shelley. Utilities is Eric Hayes and Shelley. The park is Emily and Jeannie Scalise. Emergency services are department heads and mayor. And that's about it on that. So, park commission. Did I say that already? That's on there twice. So it's a park commission and a park committee. So Emily is the liaison between the park commission and city council. So like I said, if there's something you don't want to be on or something you would like to be added to, if there's ever a meeting that needed to take place, you would be responsible to be, in that meeting. We can't have more than 3 of you in a meeting, otherwise it constitutes a quorum, and we have to have it out for public knowledge that there's a meeting being held. Right, if there's 3, yeah. So speak up. Jamie, questions?
Yeah, what about these vacant positions? Are you leaving them empty and?
So on the park, we need 2 city representatives, and I have something going out in the newspaper on Wednesday asking for that. I have a couple of people that might be interested. So the park board is made up of a couple city representatives, somebody from Vision Toledo, and somebody from the Toledo Lions Club. So the 2 city representatives are not, there's nobody in them. So you can't be on that because you're on city council. So they make up, the things the park board does is look at our park comprehensive plan and look at park improvements and things like that. And then they give their recommendations to the city council, and then city council would then approve or disapprove of those recommendations. So, yeah, so hopefully we'll get those filled here pretty soon. And then there's also a vacancy also on the planning commission, and we should be getting that filled real soon too. I have one person already that has
But you
turned in a
can't,
letter.
you can't be on the,
Council and one of those organizations, no.
Any questions? Anybody?
Is there anybody that doesn't want to be on one of the committees that they are placed on or wants a different committee?
What is the difference between the park committee and the park commission? Or is that just, you said it was on there twice, but.
Yeah, I think the park committee is if the council had something they wanted to approach the park commission with, they would meet and have a recommendation to the council to say, hey, park commission, you're not doing something right. So that's never happened.
Okay. No questions? We can move on. Okay, number 4, resolution 256A. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll entertain a motion to accept the Mayoral. Oh boy, that's hard to say, isn't it?
I make a
You
motion
gotta
that
roll your mouth a little bit.
we make a mayoral resolution declaring personal property. Is that what I do? Should I do that?
What?
Isn't that, okay, no, you have to make the proclamation. What am I doing?
Purple sheet, we're just approving the mayoral
Appointments, 2022
Sorry about
appointments,
that.
city commission and committees.
I move that we approve mayoral commissions for 2020.
I'll second.
Oh.
Second, been moved and seconded by Eric to approve the, here we go, mayoral appointment sheet. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And gosh, I'm glad I don't say that word again. All right, moving on. Resolution on 256A- surplus property. See if I can find it so I can read it.
You guys are all looking at me. I have a feeling you're waiting for me to answer something.
Is it working?
It's working now, yeah. I can see all these heads turned and it's like, oh God, something's wrong.
Sorry, Glenda, we were all staring to see if we're getting through to you.
That's okay.
I guess we were.
So in tonight's packet is information on the really old lease we have on the Toledo Food Bank from 1988. And a couple of council members have gone through it. Emily was one of them. She came in and got a copy. And so you'll see like those highlighted areas. And I went ahead and put her copy in your packet because she had some really good points highlighted. And so in the meantime, there was a email that came in too. And so I wanted you guys to be aware of that and of the letter that was actually sent out to the food bank. And all of that went to our city attorney, and he was on vacation last week. So I spoke to him today finally, and he said everything looked really good with the letter that was sent out. The only problem was in the lease, it's like you have 15 days for this or 90 days for that. And so in the letter, it didn't address like timelines. So what I need the council to do tonight, at the last meeting, you guys did vote to terminate our lease. So there is a 90, the clause that's, we have to terminate, it's 90 days before the end of the lease, which is December 31st. So basically, I'll need you guys to take a vote tonight or to approve a letter going out, giving them their 90 days. And what that means is they will actually have till the end of the year. And in that time, we can renegotiate a new lease. We can look at, working with another group. We could work with both groups possibly. So there's a lot of things that can happen in this year, but as far as the food bank, leaving the building now, unless they are in breach of contract, where if there is some issues with it being messy and they don't clean up, we do have their insurance policy now, so they aren't in breach there. We have that 15 days. And so what they said, the attorney suggested is like somebody go in and look inside the food bank. If it's a mess, we send out a letter giving that 15 days. Then whoever, did the review of the food bank, which Sam has all his fire stuff. We've had him look at it before. And at 15 days, if it's still a mess, then they would be in breach of contract. And then they may have to leave the building. So, questions?
I have a couple, I have a couple of questions, and my first one is, maybe I just am in misunderstanding, but my understanding was that last time we voted to look into the contract cautiously about moving forward and removing them, not that we voted to remove them.
The motion was to remove them. It's in your minutes, and I wrote the minutes exactly how the motion was stated. And then there was conversation from, I believe it was Ron Newman, that said that he just wanted to make sure that we did things cautiously and made sure legally was the concern. So.
I also thought it was to move forward. Or to move forward with the evaluation.
And not to remove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fine too,
Yeah.
if that's what you guys want to do. So you just need to let me know how you want to proceed. If another letter needs to be sent to the food bank, or the problem being is we need to redo this contract, the lease. And so, like I said, they still they're under the old contract because we have to give them the 90 days before the end of the contract. So like I said, during this year long, we can renegotiate a new contract with them, because this lease is so old that it doesn't make any sense.
So I sat quietly last meeting and almost bit my tongue off in the audience. And I did also today go take a look at the area. There is some things that need to be cleaned up in there. And it looks really as though they're just stockpiling food rather than giving it out. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's fine that we have a year, because I think that we should put them on notice that this is going away and going to get renegotiated, because this contract needs to be renegotiated, or it needs to be recreated. And that maybe we can help them come together with the other group and get some help and come together and work as in a partnership. And also this also forbids anything but food distribution. And so it would be nice to allow for other things.
This is mind matching you, like the kids that I have at school, they are doing this, and I talk to adults and I'm going around doing this. They probably think I'm a crazy
Mind
person.
matching.
Anyway, I'm mind matching you, Eric, because that is exactly sort of what I was thinking also. Like, it would be nice if we could renegotiate the contract. We have a year anyway, because you have to give them 90 days before January 31st. And renegotiating the contract would be great. And it would be really great if some way, even though it's really not our job or our place or our whatever, somehow we could arbitrate or mitigate those two groups supporting each other and sort of reworking the food bank so that it works for the community, because it's sort of broken and not working now. And I think that's a great idea. And I agree, it's stockpiling is
I would also, go ahead.
a nice term for it.
So, yes, I also went in there And I was dismayed at what I saw, because it is clearly in violation of this contract, as silly as this contract is. They are clearly in violation of it on many different levels. And my mind went exactly to, well, it looks like what they're doing is that they got these, somebody, hey, great, we've got these shelving units, now we have a place to put all this food. So what do we need? We need more food and more food and more food. And it's like, it's half the size of our current store in town. It's too much. It's not useful for the citizens if it's only open 6 hours a month.
Well, that's why it would be nice if they could come together.
Yeah,
figure
and
something
have
out.
that space be used for more than just
Right.
half a grocery store.
Glenda, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, actually I do. The food bank has been there a long, long time, and it was started by community members that really had a heart for the community and to get something started. And it was actually through a governor's task force that a student from Toledo High School was tasked. He went to this governor's conference of some kind and was tasked to do something for the community. And so this is what he and his family came up with, was the food bank. Now, I agree that everything you guys have had to say is absolute fact. I've walked in there, I've seen things that makes my eyelashes curl, and considering I don't have a whole lot of those anymore, that says a lot. But to just end a lease and say, you're out of here and we're getting new people in here, it's like, first of all, number one, I don't feel like us as a council has that right or the authority to say that. The only thing we can do is end a lease. So do we want to end a lease with an organization who does give back to the community? And we have all these different hearsays going on about, well, it's only open this much, or people don't get what they need, and yada, yada, yada. I feel like we need to give them the opportunity to address their shortcomings and see if they can come up with a resolution on their own. I'm under the understanding that the board of directors is comprised of a lot of older folks. And I know that they are looking at revamping the board to bring in some younger individuals to also help the situation. So I think by holding back and issuing a letter of, hey, get this cleaned up and then see where it goes, I think is the only fair thing to do. And like somebody said, encouraging, working together with community organizations such as the group that wants to take over the food bank. And they don't have any history. We don't know anything more about this group except for who they were, who showed up at that meeting and did their little presentation, but we have no other, they could be disappeared by tomorrow. We don't know. The thing about the food bank is we do know they do have a history, and they are there, and we do have contacts, and we do have people that we work with. So I guess my thing would be, like Shelley and Eric, we should not rush to judgment, not rush to get them out of there, but try to work with them in some form or fashion to bring this back to the glory that it was at one time in this community. And I have a feeling that will happen if we, work together and not hurry along. Sorry, I don't mean to be so long-winded. It's been a long time since I've gotten to talk to anybody. So I didn't mean to take up so much.
Like this now, right?
Yeah.
I do
What's
that.
that?
The only concern I sort of have about what you said was we have sent letters.
Yeah, I was
A
gonna
bunch
point
of
that
them.
out, that this isn't something new.
we
This has
have-
been ongoing for several years.
Okay.
And we get no response back from their board at all. And so, but the big thing is that the lease does need to be renegotiated. And so that's the council does need to put them on some type of notice that we are renegotiating this lease, and this is the 90. So, and in the meantime, we'll work with you or however you guys want it to be
Yeah,
worded.
I think that that would be the best way to say it, Michelle, is that, you know, we are forced to look at this lease. It's old. We want to, you know, we need to renegotiate, and we're putting you on notice for that, but we are willing to work with you, yada, yada. And again, like I said, if you've gotten no response from their board, it's my guess that it's because a lot of them are older. They don't, I don't know why. I'm just guessing that if they were to reform and revamp their board, that we may get better responses. I don't know. I just hate for the city to get too involved with the food bank, other than just to give them a place
Involved
to
with
be.
food bank. It is our building and we are responsible for that building.
Right, other than to
And
give
it's
them a
been
place.
direct fire hazard for many years.
Yeah.
That's what our concern is with the lease. And even in the lease agreement, it says that we're supposed to let them, you know, work peacefully with among
Mhm.
themselves. And we're not controlling them at all. But the fact is, we do have another group that has some great ideas.
Right.
And even though they are not established, like Glenda had mentioned, but they are community members too. And it's something that we should probably take a look at too. The space is huge.
Yes.
So I think a lot more can be done back there too, like Eric had mentioned, and I think somebody else did too. But anyway, our biggest concern though is this lease is so outdated. We need to do something with
I'm
it.
dying to hear what Jamie.
Well, I just think one step at a time. Sorry, Jamie.
Basically, when I was reading through this, that was what hit me, is it's so old. The
Yeah.
principals that are signing it are no longer here, so I don't even know if anybody has any standing with it. So it would be my recommendation that when you're renegotiating this, that you do either an annual or 5-year something, you know, rather than just let it go from year to year to year to year.
It's a pretty awesome lease, you know, so. And I think truly too, I mean, Sean Fox, I remember him, he was a great guy, truly
Yeah.
inspirational in the community. And you know, I don't think anybody in Toledo has any intention on wanting the food bank out of here. Like, that's not anything I would like. I would like them to, you know, live up to the lease. And that's it, you know.
And be
that's it.
responsive, you know.
And
I
be
mean,
responsive and respectful
yes.
of the
Yeah.
city of Toledo for that
If we
response.
send a letter, I'd like to have somebody at least contact Michelle and say, oh, thank you for the letter. You know, we got that. But, and again, if they're putting together a new board, we may end up with that later on. Of course, we have no knowledge one way or the other. We don't know. But
Right.
just the one step at a time of just renegotiating the lease and putting them on notice. That would be my motion. Michelle, you said it more eloquently than I did, but that would be my motion.
Michelle, would you repeat the motion, please? No, not yet.
You on the
Still
spot.
writing.
Which one? We talked about a lot.
The one that we would like to put them on notice that we're going to renegotiate the lease and that we are willing to work with them moving forward, but yeah.
I would happily second that.
Okay. The motion was made by Glenda, numerous ways about it, but we finally came to a good motion and it's been seconded by Eric. Any more discussion on the motion? Okay, let's vote on it. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Glenda, for all those words of wisdom that we missed for all these months, but
I have
we're back.
another question. If, should we also make some sort of thing that for a letter for you to send out for them to, what was that we were wanting them to get fixed? Or I don't know.
Well, I think the motion was good enough.
It was good enough. Okay.
Yeah, because she said to let them know that, put them on notice.
Okay.
So
Oh, all right.
I kind of take it as a letter.
All right.
Okay. Okay, that's all the new business I got. And unfinished business is nothing, other business, nothing, public input. Now's the time to speak. Yes, ma'am. Can you come up here with a mic so they can see you on YouTube?
I'll let you do that.
Hello, Kathy Hill. I have two questions. Who makes up the food bank board you're speaking of?
I am not sure who's on the board. I could find out and get some names for you, Kathy, but I don't know who's on the board. I just know that it's
Okay.
a lot of other people. And I know a person asked me if that's something that I'd be interested in serving on. And so if that's something that you're interested in serving on, that would be great. I mean, I would rather not get involved with too much for obvious reasons right now, but if you know other people and you want to do this, that would be fabulous.
Thank you. And is Debbie part of that board?
I have no idea. I would assume not.
Okay.
I think she is like, even though she doesn't get paid, I think she's like their employee, their volunteer employee. And so I
Okay,
believe that
thank
she
you.
is not part of that board.
And another,
I can't hear. Can't hear. The city is showing muted again. Oh. Okay. Still mute. That's so weird. It just mutes itself.
okay,
that went away.
Willing to help.
Got it.
And he's in,
Not that we know of.
Not
because
that
I
we
have
know of.
spoken with Debbie and I've never had a problem speaking with her, and I'd be glad to intercede. Our church is a longtime monthly supporter of the food bank and has been. And yes, we're interested in helping.
That's where I think the motion was, Kathy, to kind of merge the two groups together, and we're kind of a mediator, like,
We need, well,
Shelley
we
said.
need to find, somebody needs to arbitrate or mediate or.
Yeah.
some-
If you're offering to do that, that'd be fabulous. You know.
We would take you up on that, yes.
I have a vested interest, and I guess my first thing would be to speak with Debbie personally and see where she's
Okay.
at and how seriously she's taking the letter that you'll be sending and the things that need to be addressed. Because if there's no willingness to go along with that, then you have a whole different issue.
Yep,
Thank you for.
yep. Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
Mayor, I have something I'd like to say.
Okay,
First of all, I want to thank the mayor and the council for allowing these past 4 months for me. For those that didn't know, on August 28th, it was a Friday evening. I was here at home, and I do clearly remember not feeling well and asking my grandson to get me a chair. And from that point forward, I have no memory or recollection until 2 months later. So it was a full 2 months that I was in the hospital. I was life flighted to OHSU with a brain aneurysm. And I am very lucky to be here today. And believe me, I count my blessings, but I know it's been hard on you guys, and I'm really, really sorry that I had to miss so many meetings, but I will be here in the future and look forward to moving forward positively for 2022. And again, I thank you guys for being understanding with the fact that I had this medical emergency that through no fault of my own, but it was something that happened. I do have to have a surgery at the end of January because the stupid aneurysm is trying to refill again. So we don't want that, but I should just be, it's like a one night in the hospital type thing, and then I'll be home and then I should be fine. But anyway, that's where I'm at. And I'm telling you, it's crazy to lose 2 months of your entire life and not even know what happened or where you were, or my family was told that I'd never talk again and that I wasn't really responsive. I just would stare off into space. So to be here is a miracle, and I'm really thankful that happened. And I felt really bad for my grandson, but he survived. Thank goodness. He's 10, so he did okay. But yeah. Anyway,
we appreciate everything you said, Glenna, and we're definitely assured that you can talk now. Thank you very much. I hope you feel better. I hope you get well faster, and our love goes out to you and your family of all the stuff you went through.
Thank
Okay, is there any other public input?
Is that the way the mic keeps cutting out?
what's that?
No, it's the other direction.
That was just the chief. He's making another funny remark.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mike keeps going out and because you're trying to talk.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're working on that too. Oh, any other public input? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Thank God you can talk again. So moved and seconded by Glenda to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody have a good evening. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks.